In the next task, we are going to talk about multi-screen setups and how to separate them to decide by yourself which content should be on which target display. So let's start with just take 4 generic flat screens, for example, and we arrange them in a way like this. And we also give them different names so that we find them afterwards easier. So this one should be Q1, this should be Q2, Q3, and this one is Q4. We also can show the labels up here so that we see which screen does have which name. Okay, in the next step we go back to the compositing tab, and now we start to add a content on the background, for example. At first, we also like to create different screen groups. So the left part should be a screen group and the right part should be a screen group. So we switch back to screen groups and then down there we hit the plus and we get another screen group. So by default, it's an empty screen group, so we have to move the screens from the first screen group into the second one by ourselves. So I just select them, Q1 and Q3. And let's name the first screen group left side, and the second one should be right side. You also can switch the borders of the screens to this different display option. If you move your mouse up here, you will find the screen display. And if you select groups, then you will see the 2 different colors. So let's color this one differently. Now we have a green and a red screen group. So left side is green and right side is red. Okay, then we have to create a second overlay layer and change the name to overlay left. Okay, so let's name this one overlay left, and then I just duplicate the layer with the button here, and now I just change the name to overlay right. Now let's add picture 4 to overlay left. The home screen for this layer should be display Q1. Okay, so I take picture 4 and assign it to this one, and my home screen should be Q1. So as you already know, each layer has a certain home screen. So each layer is connected to a specific screen up here. You can change it by either drag and drop it to the certain screen, or you just select your the layer, and on the right side in the inspector you can change the home screens as well. So this one should be on display Q1, and the screen presence for this layer should be set to screen group. So what does it mean? If I now change the screen presence to screen group, which is by the way the default setting, if I move now my content from the top screen to Q4, then it will be visible there as well. And I also can decide on my layer if the content should be rendered only to the home screen, to the screen group, or to all screens. So let's check how it looks like. So if I have my content like this, then it's only visible on the first screen, on the screen group, which is the default setting. I also can change it to home screen. Then the content is only visible on the home screen or on all screens, which means you see it on all the screens. In that case, it should be visible only in the screen group. Size the picture up and reposition it in a way so that it's visible on Q1 and Q2. In that case, it should be Q3. So it's written wrong, Q2 and Q4. Yeah, correct. So it should be visible only on Q1 and Q4 in this screen group, the left screen group. Then we have to add picture 3 to overlay right. So actually we are doing the same for this picture as well. Then we assign home screen Q2. So I just drag and drop my content or my layer to this screen. And then I just move down the image a little bit so that it's visible in the whole screen group. So as I told you, the screen presence is by default on screen group, and it works the same here if it's only visible on home screen, all screens, or on the screen group. In the next step, we have to add video 1 to background 2 layer. So I take video 1 and move it on or add it on background 1 layer. And this layer should now be visible to all screens. So I have to right click, scale unit mode, screen present, and it should be visible on all the screens. And in that case, I can decide by myself which screen should be my home screen. In that case, it doesn't matter because it should be visible on all the screens anyway. So now we just dive into the screen to be able to really size it up so that it's visible on all the screens. S for save keyframe. And if we now dive out again, I see my content on all screens as well. So probably we didn't reset this one to screen group. That's why we just see it up here. So I go back to my overlay right and change it to screen group. Okay, last but not least, add picture 2 to background 1 layer and change the screen presence to home screen. Okay, I take the picture 2 on background 2 and assign it to Q1, for example. And now we see that actually background 2 is underneath background 1. So I just changed the render order of the layers and zack, it's up there. So then we just then we can play around, for example, with this layer to assign it to different screen groups so that you see, or different home screens, so that you see how it changes. And you also can assign it to different screen groups or whatever you want to do. So for example, if you just select this layer and you size it up like this, you can change it between home screen, all screens, or screen group, or only on home screen again. You also can change the home screen. In that case, it behaves like this, so you can switch it through all the screens, and now you see how it behaves. So basically the screen group really gives you a possibility to decide by yourself on which screen a layer should be rendered, and then you can't move it to a different screen by accident, so you really always know on which screen which content should be rendered. Okay, and this is actually task number 13.